You know how sometimes you're scrolling through the amazing pictures from the James Webb Space Telescope and you think, wow, the universe is wild? Well, there's this one super weird thing that's popping up in almost every single one of those pictures, and it's got astronomers totally scratching their heads. It's tiny, it's red, and it's everywhere. What in the cosmos is going on? What are these mysterious little red dots that James Webb keeps finding, and why are they such a big puzzle for understanding the early universe? That's what we're unpacking today on Astro Hub. So, you've probably seen the incredible photos from the James Webb Space Telescope, right? They are truly mind-blowing, aren't they? You know, the ones with the swirling galaxies and the distant sparkling nebulae. But here's something you might not have noticed unless you were really, really looking. If you peer closely at almost every single one of those amazing images, especially around the edges or corners, there's often this faint but very distinct little red dot. It just pops up. And these aren't just random specks of cosmic dust or tiny glitches in the camera, like when you get a little bit of dust on your phone lens. Nope. Astronomers have a special name for them. They call them LRDs, and that's just short for little red dots. Pretty catchy, right? I mean, it gets straight to the point. The thing is, these aren't just any old dots. They're too consistent. They're too, well, red, and they show up in too many different images for them to be an accident. They are definitely something real, and they are definitely a cosmic mystery. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal with just a red dot? But here's where things get really interesting and a little mind-bending. When we look at super distant objects in space, it's not like seeing them right now. Light actually takes time to travel across the vastness of space. So, when light from a faraway galaxy finally reaches us, we're actually seeing it as it was way back when that light started its journey. It's like a cosmic time machine. This means that these LRDs, these little red dots, are mostly found when the universe was incredibly young. We're talking only about 1 billion years old. To give you some perspective, our universe is currently about 13.8 billion years old, so 1 billion years is like looking back at a cosmic baby picture. And in astronomy, when we say something is red, it often means it's super far away. This is because of something called redshift. Imagine stretching out a rubber band with dots on it. As the rubber band stretches, the dots get farther apart. The universe is stretching out all the time, and as it expands, the light waves traveling through it also get stretched. When light waves stretch, they shift towards the red end of the spectrum, making distant objects appear redder to us. So, when you put it all together, these little red dots are not only incredibly far away, but they're also giving us a peek into a really, really early period of the universe's life. Okay, so we've established these little red dots are super distant and from the universe's early days. But here's another head scratcher, something that really makes astronomers scratch their heads. These LRDs are tiny. I mean, seriously tiny. We're talking sometimes only a few hundred light years across. Now, to give you an idea of just how small that is, think about our own Milky Way galaxy. It's about 100,000 light years across, from one side to the other. So imagine a dot that's maybe 1/100th or even 1,000th the size of our galaxy. These LRDs are like cosmic specks, practically invisible on a galactic scale. And this really tiny size is what makes it so hard for us to just say, oh, they're just baby galaxies. You'd think, young galaxies would be small, right? But even the youngest galaxies we've seen, those just forming, are generally much, much bigger than these little red dots. So that's the big puzzle. What in the world could be that small, yet also that incredibly bright, in the early, early universe? This isn't just a minor detail. It's a huge clue that something really unique is going on. And this is exactly why astronomers are getting so excited and throwing out all sorts of wild, fascinating ideas to explain these tiny, bright, red mysteries. Okay, so what are some of these ideas about our little red dots? One of the more straightforward ones is that these LRds are actually young, active galaxies. I know, we just talked about how they're too small for galaxies, right? But here's the twist. These galaxies aren't just out in the open. They're shrouded in incredibly thick, dense dust. Think of it like a really, really foggy day, but instead of water vapor, it's cosmic dust everywhere. Now, This isn't just regular house dust. This is made of heavier elements forged in stars. This thick dust would absorb most of the blue and visible light that these hot young galaxies are producing. Blue light has shorter wavelengths, and it's easier for dust to block it out. But the longer, redder wavelengths can wiggle their way through the dust much more easily and get to us. It's kind of like seeing a distant city at night through really thick smog or fog. You mostly see the glowing red lights, maybe from traffic or neon signs, not all the bright, detailed white and blue lights from the buildings. The smog filters out the shorter wavelengths, leaving mostly red. So, from our perspective, all that dust would make these young galaxies appear super red and also relatively compact, because we're not seeing the full extent of the galaxy, just the bright, dusty core peeking through. It's a pretty neat explanation for why they look the way they do. Now buckle up, because this next idea is pretty wild. What if these little red dots are actually supermassive primordial black holes? Primordial just means they formed really, really early in the universe, even before stars and galaxies as we know them were really a thing. Think about it. Usually, black holes form when a giant star runs out of fuel and collapses, right? But here's the twist with these primordial ones. The idea is that in the super-duper early universe, you had these enormous clouds of gas just floating around, instead of slowly gathering together to form stars, and then those stars living and dying. Sometimes these giant gas clouds might have just collapsed all at once, like a whole colossal cloud of gas directly, poof, into a massive black hole. No star had to die first, no slow buildup needed. It just happened directly. And if these supermassive black holes were actively gobbling up all that surrounding gas and dust, that process would make them incredibly bright. It would look like a tiny, super energetic red spot in the sky. So that's another really exciting possibility for what these little red dots could be. So for a long time, these LRds were just really good guesses, just astronomers throwing out ideas based on what we knew. But recently, something truly incredible happened, and it's totally changed the game. Researchers managed to observe one of these little red dots in a way that, for the first time ever, actually revealed some of its inner workings. Imagine finally getting a peek behind the curtain of a cosmic magic trick. This particular observation was super surprising and really special because it gave us the first real solid clues about what these mysterious little red dots truly are. And guess what? It looks like the answer is they're super compact, dusty galaxies. Yep, our first hypothesis looks like it's the winner, at least for this one. We're talking about extremely dense, busy places where stars are forming really fast, and they're just cloaked in a lot of cosmic dust. While the debate isn't totally settled for every LRd out there, this breakthrough is a huge, huge step forward in understanding the early universe and these enigmatic objects. It's just another amazing reminder that space is full of surprises, and the James Webb Space Telescope is our ultimate cosmic detective.